What's going on, guys? Week 15 of the Fresh Cut with KRich. Thank you for joining me for another week of my show. You're going live on Monday nights at 7 o'clock p.m. This week, excuse me, for week 15, I'm going to preview some of the college football awards that were handed out this year. Going to do a little bit of Heisman talk. The Heisman Trophy winner has been announced as of Saturday. I'm also going to give a couple of my predictions for the bowl games that we have coming up starting next week, which is Saturday the 17th. That's when the college football bowl games get going. But like I said, I'm coming to you guys live every week, keeping it real for you guys. But let's get right into it. I do have a weak connection, but I'm going to keep the show moving. But before I actually get to the awards that were handed out this past weekend, I'm going to go over there was a game on Saturday, by the way. We had Army versus Navy. That is a game that is very big game every year. It usually doesn't mean a lot to a lot of people, but it was a pretty good game. Army actually defeated Navy 21-17. They finally ended their 14-year losing streak against the Navy midshipmen. Hats off to the Army Black Knights. They got it done. They defeated Navy 21-17. It was a pretty good game. I did watch it just for the fun of it. Now, Army was down in that game 17-14 late in the fourth quarter, but came back and won that game. They scored in that game for the go-ahead touchdown and won that game 21. They won that game 21-17. So that was a pretty good game. Black Knights overcame a 14. They overcame a 14-game losing streak against the Navy midshipmen, and they won that game. I'm not going to really go over too many stats from that game, but the Black Knights used a 41-yard touchdown run. They gave them the lead. Actually, Navy gained the lead with 12 minutes and 42 seconds, but Army was not done. Hang on, guys. I'm having some connection problems. Black Knights put together a 12-play, 80-yard drive that lasted 7 minutes and ended with a touchdown at the end to win it. Hang on, guys. I'm trying to get a better connection here. Bear with me. I'm really having some technical difficulties here with this connection. But anyways, I'm going to continue. That was the first game that I watched. That was the only game from this past Saturday. I'm back, guys. Fresh Cut with KRich. I do have a good signal about that. Had a couple technical difficulties. But like I was saying, Army defeated Navy for the first time in 14 years. Hats off to those guys. 21-17. It was a great game. And that was that. But going right into some things, guys, I'm going to go over some college football awards that were handed out this past weekend. The award show was actually on Thursday for you guys that didn't watch it. So we're going to start off with the Maxwell Award, which is the Player of the Year Award. Lamar Jackson won the Player of the Year from Louisville. Congratulations. But in that running, we had Lamar Jackson, Baker Mayfield from Oklahoma, Jabril Peppers from Michigan, and Lamar Jackson ran away with the Player of the Year award. The Chuck Bednarik Award, which is the Best Defensive Player of the Year, went out to Jonathan Allen, defensive end for Alabama. He ran up against Myles Garrett. Jabril Peppers was also in that category. The Biletnikoff Award, Best Wide Receiver, went out to Dede Westbrook from Oklahoma. He won the Best Wide Receiver Award. I have stats from this guy. Westbrook is a pretty good player, man. For the season, he had 74 receptions, 1,465 yards, and 16 touchdowns. So congratulations to Dede Westbrook. He won the Best Wide Receiver Award. Like I said, these awards were handed out on Thursday night on ESPN for those who didn't see it. The Best Place Kicker Award, the Lou Groza Award, went out to Zane Gonzalez from Arizona State. Then we had the Ray Guy Award, Best Punter, went out to Mitch. I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name. Wisnowski from Utah. He won the Best Punter Award. Then we had the Best Tight End Award, went out to Jake Butt from Michigan. Best Quarterback Award. Now, the finalist for this award was also, again, Lamar Jackson from Louisville, Baker Mayfield from Oklahoma, and Deshaun Watson actually won the Best Quarterback of the Year award from Clemson. Now, going over some of his stats, Deshaun Watson had a great regular season. He completed 329 passing, 329 yard attempts out of 487 attempts for 3,914 yards and 37 touchdowns. So congratulations to Deshaun Watson. He won the Best Quarterback Award. Then we had the Outland Trophy, the Best Interior Lineman, went out to Cam Robinson for Alabama. We had the Remington Award, the Best Center. Blocking is always important. That went out to Pat Elefine from Ohio State. The Jim Thorpe Award, Best Defensive Back. That went out to Adoree Jackson for USC. Now, here's where things get crazy, guys. We have what you call the Doak Walker Award, which is the Best Running Back. Now, the finalist for this award was Dalvin Cook from Florida State, Deontay Foreman from Texas, and Donnell Pumphrey from San Diego State. Now, they gave this award to Deontay Foreman from Texas. I don't agree with that. Now, Dalvin Cook has been snubbed in a lot of awards in the past few years. Let me give you guys some stats. Now, this Deontay Foreman guy that won the Best Running Back Award for Texas this year, all right, he ran for 323 carries and 2,028 yards. He had a lot of yards, 15 touchdowns. But then when you look at his receiving yards as a running back, 7 receptions for 75 yards, no touchdowns. Now, looking at Dalvin Cook's stats from the year, I mean, Dalvin Cook had to have won the Best Running Back Award. I mean, come on. 268 attempts for 1,620 yards, 18 touchdowns. And then look on the receiving end, guys. 30 receptions for 426 yards and 1 touchdown. I mean, Dalvin Cook, man, they've been snubbing him from awards for the past 2 or 3 years. I mean, I just don't agree with that. Dalvin Cook didn't win not one individual award in the college football 2016. Don't agree with that. The Wolfle Trophy Community Service Award, I guess, went to Trevor Knight, quarterback for Texas A&M. Additionally, they had a couple of other awards. The Home Depot Coach of the Year Award went out to Mike McIntyre from Colorado. Those guys actually have a winning season, but he won the Best Coach of the Year. The Disney Sports Spirit Award went out to James Conner for Pittsburgh. He overcame cancer. What a story. You got to give it to that guy. He won the Spirit Award. What a great story. The William V. Campbell Trophy Award for Academic Success went out to Western Michigan quarterback Zach Terrell. So those were the results of the award show from Thursday. This is the College Football 2016 awards. Not the Heisman, but they did hand out a lot of awards on Thursday night. Now, going into the Heisman, that was on Saturday night. We had 4 finalists. We had Louisville's quarterback, Lamar Jackson. We had Clemson's quarterback, Deshaun Watson. We had Oklahoma receiver, Dede Westbrook, and Oklahoma quarterback. But we had Michigan's Jabril Peppers. He was also a finalist. And and Baker Mayfield was also a finalist in the Heisman Awards. The Heisman winner, roll up the drums, went to Louisville's Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is your 2016 Heisman Trophy winner. The first winner ever for Louisville. The first winner ever out of Palm Beach County, representing Boynton Beach, Florida. Won the Heisman. Lamar Jackson, he deserved it, although they're not in the playoffs. I mean, you got to look at this guy's stats, man. Lamar Jackson was incredible this year. All right, he completed 58% of his passes, 220 out of 382 attempts for 3,390 yards and 30 touchdowns with 9 interceptions. Lamar Jackson also ran the ball 234 times for 1,538 yards and 21 touchdowns. So Lamar Jackson is your Heisman winner for 2016. Now, looking at what I'm seeing here, he is the third player in FBS history with 30 passing touchdowns and 20 rushing touchdowns in the same season. The only other two players to do that was Cam Newton and Tim Tebow, who also won the Heisman. But congratulations to Lamar Jackson, very humble kid out of Boynton Beach. I think he also obviously deserved it. That guy had an incredible year. Let's see, Deshaun Watson finished second in the Heisman voting. So this is his second year not being able to come away with the Heisman Trophy winnings. But he is in the college football playoffs. Finishing third in the voting was Oklahoma quarterback Baker Mayfield. He had a completion percentage of 71.2%. And Dede Westbrook finished fourth place in the Heisman voting. This is Oklahoma's wide receiver. He had 1,465 yards receiving. Had 8 100 receiving yard games. Not bad, not bad. But, yeah, man. So congratulations to Lamar Jackson. This guy, like I said before, I've been saying it all year in my show. I thought from day one that he would win the Heisman, and he did. Next, I want to talk about a couple of coaching changes. Breaking news, if you guys haven't heard, coming to you from the Fresh Cut. USF has decided to hire Charlie Strong. Charlie Strong now has a head coaching job. He is set to become South Florida's next head coach. I think he will do well. I think he will flourish at a South Florida program. Recruiting is going to be very competitive now. I'm going to get to that. That's going to be my next topic. The state of Florida and recruiting. It's going to be very competitive now that you have Charlie Strong as South Florida's next head coach. Texas, I mean, it was too much pressure on him there, but I think he's going to have a great time, great success at the University of South Florida. He's a tremendous leader. He's familiar with recruiting in Florida. He used to coach defensively for the Florida Gators. But Charlie Strong now has a head coaching job. Last week, we didn't know where he was going. Last week on my show, I told you guys that he got fired. We didn't know where he was going. But get this, guys. Charlie Strong is only the fourth head coach in USF's 20-year football history. He has strong ties in the state of Florida. So I think Charlie Strong, congratulations. I'm glad he was able to get something going. I'm glad he was able to find a head coaching job. But Charlie Strong will be your next coach for the USF South Florida Bulls. Going over some things here as far as coaches in the state of Florida. By the way, FIU has hired offensive coordinator Lane Kiffin. He'll be here in Boca Raton. But despite Texas' strong record, Charlie Strong's strong record, he has plenty of Florida ties before. Now, let me go over some big-name coaches in the state of Florida. This is where recruiting is going to get very competitive. State of Florida, man, you know, we're a good football state, but now you have Jimbo Fisher at Florida State. You have Mark Richt at Miami. You have Charlie Strong at USF. You now have Lane Kiffin at FAU, Butch Davis at FIU. I mean, recruiting is going to be crazy this year. Just looking over what these coaches have done, Jimbo Fisher in his 7th year at Florida State, his record is 77-17. The record speaks for itself. He recruited Jameis Winston, led to a national championship, a Heisman Trophy winner, and a number 1 draft pick. Jimbo knows how to put together great recruiting classes. Mark Richt, it's very early on in his first year at Miami. They struggled towards the latter of the season, but they'll get it together. Then you have Butch Davis, who was just hired at Florida International. I believe that hire took place last year. Butch Davis was 51-20 for 1995 to 2000, led the Miami Hurricanes to a 2001 national title. He knows how to recruit. And now you're bringing in Charlie Strong at USF. So the state of Florida is a hot spot for football. And it's even more now with all these great coaches. Like I said, I think that Florida State's going to stay on the top of the recruiting class, but you now have Charlie Strong in there to build USF program, get those guys back on top. Like I said, if you guys haven't heard, Lane Kiffin was announced today to be the next head coach of Florida Atlantic. He will coach them in the playoffs and the championship. His contract was set to expire this year. Many people thought that Lane Kiffin would find a head coaching job, which he did as of today. He will be coaching Florida Atlantic University. So he will be parting ways with Nick Saban. Nick Saban said he's done a phenomenal job. I do think that they'll get another offensive coordinator in there. Obviously, it's Alabama. But Lane Kiffin is your next coach for FAU. Let's see. He was making $1.4 million per year as Alabama's offensive coordinator. Now FAU went 3-9 this past season, so I think Lane Kiffin's going to turn things around there in Boca. So the state of Florida, man, is getting real competitive out here, real competitive. So, comment on my stuff. Tell me what you guys think about the coaching changes. Do you think Florida's going to be a hot spot for recruiting? I think so. Now, the bowl games for college football don't get going until next Saturday, which is December 17th. I'm going to go over my predictions for the bowl games here. I have made my picks for all 42 games. Fresh cut. You can disagree. You can agree. Doesn't matter. But I'm going to tell you guys what I think is going to happen in these bowl games. So, I have Grambling beating North Carolina Central in that bowl. I have Texas San Antonio beating New Mexico. I have the Houston Cougars beating San Diego State. I have Toledo beating Appalachian State. These games are little small games. Don't really matter. These games aren't the big games, but I made my picks anyway. I got UCF beating Arkansas State. I also have Louisiana Lafayette beating Southern Miss. I have Tulsa beating Central Michigan. Western Kentucky beating Memphis. Brigham Young beating Wyoming. I have Idaho beating Colorado State. Eastern Michigan beating Old Dominion. I have the Navy Shipmen beating Louisiana Tech. I have Ohio beating Troy. I have Middle Tennessee beating Hawaii. Mississippi State beating Miami of Ohio. I have Maryland beating Boston College. That's typical ACC matchup. Boston College, they're not all that great. I have NC State beating Vanderbilt. ACC over SEC there. I have the North Texas upsetting Army. We'll see about that. I have number 24 Temple beating Wake Forest. Washington State over Minnesota. I have Baylor beating Boise State. That might not. I mean, you got to pick some upsets here and there. I have Pittsburgh beating Northwestern. Then in these games here, 1 second, guys. Let me go back because this is where the games start getting good. Right here. And I'm starting with this Miami and West Virginia game here. I'm going to start giving you guys my picks. This is where the bowl games get good. My dad says we need more good teams in Florida. The Gators. Well, Jim McElwain, like I said, we're dominating those guys. Florida State dominating Florida. I don't know what type of recruits are going to go there. They'll probably get a couple of guys. I mean, but maybe he needs a few more years to turn those guys around. But Florida, man, yeah, they've been struggling, but they do get a bowl game this year, which I will get to. But yeah, I think that Charlie Strong and Jimbo's going to be taking all those good recruits away from Jim McElwain and the Florida Gators. Now, like I said, I'm going to get to these bowl game picks here. Now is where I start predicting stuff here. Okay. The Miami Beach Bowl, I did that. Let's see. Miami plays West Virginia in a Russell Athletic Bowl. Now, I'm going to say for this game, I have number 16 West Virginia beating Miami. That's just what I think. Miami's going to have to rebuild starting next year, but I got West Virginia beating those guys. Moving right along. I have the Indiana Hoosiers beating the Utah Utes. I also have Texas A&M beating Kansas State. That might be a good game. That's the Advocare V100 Texas Bowl at 9 o'clock p.m. That game's going to be played on December 28th, right after Christmas break. Let's see. South Florida versus South Carolina. I believe I got South Florida winning this game. I think that they're going to be hyped. They got a new head coach coming in, Charlie Strong. They'll knock off South Carolina. Arkansas and Virginia Tech in the Belk Bowl. I have... I'm going to go with Arkansas here. Arkansas to knock off Virginia Tech in the Belk Bowl. Oklahoma State versus Colorado. I have number 10 Colorado winning that game. It'll be a close one. The Valero Alamo Bowl. That's going to be a good game. Georgia versus TCU. I got Georgia taking care of business there. I mean, Georgia needs a big win there, but I got Georgia taking care of business over the TCU Horned Frogs. Hyundai Sun Bowl, Stanford, North Carolina. That might be a good one there. That's going to be a pretty good game. But I got Stanford Cardinals defeating the North Carolina Tar Heels. Sorry, ACC, but I think Stanford's going to get it done. Nebraska, Tennessee. I'm going to go with the Tennessee Volunteers in that one. I'm going to go with the SEC. I'm going to ride with the SEC there. South Alabama and Air Force. That's another game that we really probably won't pay too much attention about. But I got Air Force beating South Alabama. Let's see. Michigan, Florida State. Of course, guys. How can I pick against the Noles? I got Florida State winning that game. The close one. I played defeating Michigan in the Orange Bowl. That's going to be a close one. I believe I have Florida State win that game. I'm going to say 34-31 in the shootout. Number 11 Florida State gets it done. We improved to 10-3 on the season. Buffalo Wild Wings Bowl, LSU and Louisville. I'm going to go with the Louisville Cardinals beating the LSU Tigers there. Georgia Tech versus Kentucky. I got Georgia Tech winning that game. Florida, Iowa. I got Iowa beating the Florida Gators in the Outback Bowl. Western Michigan versus Wisconsin. Now, Western Michigan is undefeated on the year. I'm going to go with the Wisconsin Badgers to beat Western Michigan. Western Michigan hasn't faced anybody like Wisconsin all year. USC Penn State in the Rose Bowl. That's going to be another good one there. I'm going to go with Penn State to beat USC there. Auburn and Oklahoma in the Sugar Bowl. I got Oklahoma beating Auburn in that one, in a close one. And then let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, then we got to go to the playoff games here. We got to get to the playoffs, man. All right, playoffs. Washington, Alabama. I have Alabama beating Washington. I'm going to say Alabama wins by 10 points. Let's say 34-24. Alabama wins. It may be closer than the experts think. Ohio State, Clemson. I got that one being a close game as well. That's going to be an offensive shootout. It's going to come down to who has the ball last. But I think Urban Meyer is going to get it done against Dabo Swinney. I hope Clemson win, but I think that Ohio State's going to pull that one out. So I have Ohio State winning that game in a close one. So those are my predictions there. And then you got the championship. I'm predicting Alabama to face Ohio State, with Alabama winning it all once again. Unfortunately, I don't think nobody's going to beat Nick Saban in Alabama. But I got Alabama winning the whole thing. Moving on, we had some NFL from this Sunday. The Chiefs defeated the Raiders 21-13. Steelers beat the Bills 27-20. Titans beat the Broncos 13-10. Redskins defeated the Eagles 27-22. The Dolphins improved to 8-5. They defeated the Cardinals 26-23. Tannehill did get hurt. I believe it's towards ACL. That might hurt the Dolphins, but the Dolphins have solidified a spot in the playoffs. Panthers beat the Chargers 28-16. Bengals over the Browns 23-10. Lions defeated the Bears 20-17. The Texans defeated the Colts 22-17. Vikings beat the Jags 25-16. Jets beat the 49ers in overtime 23-17. Tampa Bay defeated the Saints 16-11. Tampa Bay also improved to 8-5. The Bucks have won for the 5th time in a row. Jameis Winston and those guys, I'm proud of those guys. Jameis was 16-26 for 184 yards. but they got the victory. And then we have Falcons and the Rams. Falcons blew out St. Louis 42-14. That was ugly by St. Louis. I don't know what Todd Gurley was thinking. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers blew out the Seahawks 38-10. Now, Russell Wilson threw 5 interceptions. That was ugly, man. And then the Cowboys went down. Giants defeated the Cowboys 10-7. That's the second time that the Cowboys have lost. The only two losses that they have is to the New York Giants. But New York Giants snapped the Cowboys' 11-game winning streak. Dez Bryant fumbled late in the game. Couldn't believe it. Dallas is 11-2. They'll still get the playoffs, but it looks like the Giants have their number. And then going over some college basketball, Florida State upset Florida 83-78 yesterday on Sunday. Congratulations to Florida State. We're 10-1. Florida State actually is ranked now. They're number 23. Okay. So we beat Florida in basketball and football. What more can I say? Actually, Kentucky was number 6. They defeated Hofstra 96-73. Kentucky over. North Carolina slid by Tennessee 73-71. Looking at the rankings here in college basketball, Villanova remains number 1 at 10-0. UCLA is 10-0. Kansas 9-1. Baylor 8-0, and Duke rounds out the top 5 at 10-1. Kentucky right behind them at 9-1. North Carolina's 10-1. Like I said, Florida State, we moved up into the top 25 in basketball, 10-1. I think we'll make the tournament this year. And then just an interesting stat for you guys for the NBA. LeBron James has become the first player in NBA history to reach 27,000 points, 7,000 rebounds, and 7,000 assists. Congratulations to LeBron James. The Cleveland Cavaliers remain at the top in the Eastern Conference Finals. That's pretty much it for Week 15 for the Fresh Cut with KRich, guys. Catch me next week. Like I said, the bowl games start on Saturday the 17th. I'm going to go over some games. But let me know who you guys think is going to win the bowl games. Let me know who you guys think is going to be in the playoffs and what the results will be. I'm going live every Monday at 7 o'clock p.m. Catch me live. I hope I gave you guys some nice information. Looking fresh like always. The Fresh Cut. KRich. I'm out.